Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. And I have to say, the air,
Mm.
it just feels different today. There's a weight to it. If
Mhm.
you've been online, if you've been watching the news, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's a moment of global reflection.
Yeah.
It really is. Yesterday, the world lost Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what your politics are, regardless of where you come from, that's the shifting of a tectonic plate in history.
It really is. A tectonic plate. That's a great way to put it. I was looking at some of the coverage this morning, and it's just amazing to see the scope of his life.
The sheer breadth of it.
From the balcony in Memphis
Yeah.
with Dr. King in '68 to the presidential runs in the '80s to, I mean, his work right up until the end. He wasn't just a participant in history. He was an architect of it.
He was the bridge. That's the term that keeps coming to my mind. He was the bridge.
How do you mean?
Well, he bridged that spiritual protest-based movement of the civil rights era with the pragmatic, the political coalition building of the modern era.
Right. The boots on the ground and the ballot box.
Exactly. He taught people that protest was power, but voting was also power. And, beyond all the strategy, he gave us something else. He gave us the vocabulary of dignity.
I am somebody.
So 3 words.
3 words.
Subject, verb, object. I am somebody. It sounds so simple to us now, doesn't it?
It does, because it's become part of the cultural furniture.
That's it. We've heard it in songs. We've seen it on T-shirts. But you have to remember, when he first started chanting that in the early 70s at Operation PUSH rallies, that was radical.
Truly radical.
It was a counter-revolutionary act. It was pushing back against a society that was explicitly telling Black people, poor people, marginalized people that they were nobody.
And that right there brings us to the focus of today's deep dive. Because we aren't just doing a biography of Reverend Jackson, as important as that is. We are looking at a specific tribute that was released just yesterday. It's written by Dr. Shungu Hilda M'gadzah.
And this piece it's incredibly powerful.
It is.
It's titled, I Am Somebody, a tribute to dignity and determination. And what makes it such a rich source for us to dig into is that Dr. M'gadzah is writing from this very specific intersection.
Right. Talk about that intersection.
She's a psychologist. She's an author. She created the 6 stages framework. But she's also a Black woman reacting to this loss in real time.
It's a synthesis, isn't it, of the personal and the professional.
Totally.
She takes that rallying cry, I am somebody, and she stress tests it against the reality of 2026.
Yes, that's a perfect way to describe it.
She asks, does this still hold up? How do we use this tool when we are in the boardroom or when we're in the doctor's office?
When we're dealing with the subtle exclusions of modern life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just a eulogy.
No, not at all. It's an application of the legacy. She's showing us how to use the tool. And let me tell you, it is not a soft, gentle piece of writing.
No, it is gritty. It is demanding.
It confronts you, the reader.
So our plan today is to walk through this tribute, section by section. We want to unpack the psychology behind her words, analyze the specific kinds of exclusion she highlights, and really, understand what it means to claim I am somebody in today's world.
Okay, let's get into it.
She opens by setting the context. And her first line, she writes, with the passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson, I'm holding tight to the words he gave us. I am somebody.
Holding tight.
Yeah.
That's a very deliberate choice of imagery, isn't it?
It feels, desperate almost, or at least very urgent.
It implies turbulence. You don't hold tight to something when you're relaxing on a calm sea.
No.
You hold tight to the railing when the ship is rocking. You hold tight to a lifeline. It suggests that there are forces, social forces, political forces, that are right now trying to rip that dignity away from her.
And she goes on to say that his words gave language and dignity to generations who were told they were less than.
And that concept of giving language is so crucial in psychology.
Right.
We often talk about the power of labeling. I mean, if you cannot name your experience, you cannot master it.
You can't even process it properly.
Exactly. If you cannot name your worth, you cannot defend it. Before Jackson popularized I am somebody, the language used to describe marginalized communities was, it was often imposed from the outside.
Okay.
It was statistical or it was derogatory. You were a minority. You were a problem. You were at risk.
Those are all passive labels.
Yes.
They're things that are done to you.
Precisely. I am somebody, on the other hand, is active. It's self-definition. It requires no permission from the state or your employer or anyone. It validates the self from the inside out.
And Dr. M'gadzah connects this directly to her own work. She says these words shaped how she thinks about voice, visibility, and self-worth within systems that too often try to erase us.
Erase. There it is. That is the antagonist of this story, isn't it?
It has to be.
It is. The central conflict in this tribute is between existence, I am somebody, and erasure. You treat me like nobody.
And notice she points to systems.
Yes, that's key. She isn't just talking about individual mean people. She's talking about healthcare systems, corporate structures, social hierarchies, machines, really. Machines that process people and, often strip away their humanity in the gears.
So she sets the stage. This is a reminder to herself and to us. I'm somebody. We are somebody. And then she begins the spoken word portion. Part 1. I've been thinking of this as the fundamental assertion.
I like that. She starts with, I am a human being. I am somebody. I deserve dignity and respect because I am somebody.
It's so stripped down. I am a human being. I mean, why do we even need to say that in 2026?
Well, that's the tragedy that necessitates the poem, right? We have to say it because there is a constant ambient noise in society that suggests otherwise. This is about what sociologists call ontological security.
Ontological security.
Yeah, it's the deep internal sense of order and continuity in your own existence. For a lot of people, that security is just a given. But for many others, it is under constant attack.
How so?
You are treated as a number, a quota, a threat, or a stereotype. So you have to. You have to verbally rebuild your humanity every morning just to leave the house.
Wow. She continues, whether you choose to see me or not, I am living my humanity.
And this, right here, this is a profound psychological pivot.
Okay.
She is rejecting what's called the white gaze, or, the dominant gaze. Historically, marginalized people have been conditioned to see themselves through the eyes of the oppressor. W.E.B. Du Bois called this double consciousness.
Right, the two-ness.
Exactly. You are always wondering, how do they see me?
And usually the answer you imagine is they don't.
They see something bad.
Right.
But here, Dr. M'gadzah just cuts that cord. She says, whether you choose to see me or not.
She's acknowledging their blindness?
She acknowledges it, but she divorces her value from it. I am living my humanity. My life is real. My joy is real. My pain is real. It does not require your witness to be valid.
It's a declaration of independence.
Yeah.
She's basically saying, your blindness is your pathology, not mine.
Exactly. It shifts the problem from the observed to the observer.
And that leads us perfectly into part 2.
Yeah.
This is where she really starts to take apart the observer's mindset.
She does.
She confronts the idea of superiority directly. She lists the reasons people think they are better. Gender, sexuality, ableism, neurotypical privilege, class, or status.
She's covering the entire intersectional map here. It's a comprehensive list. And I really want to pause on neurotypical privilege.
Yes, let's unpack that.
Because that is a term that has really come to the forefront in the last few years.
Yeah. So what does that look like in the context of I am somebody?
Well, neurotypical privilege is the unearned advantage that comes from having a brain that processes information and social cues and sensory input in the way that the dominant culture expects it to.
So the default setting, so to speak.
Kind of. And if you are neurodivergent, so autistic, ADHD, dyslexic, you are often penalized for social errors that aren't actually errors at all, just differences.
Like not making eye contact
Yeah.
or needing things spelled out.
Exactly. Or needing clear instructions instead of just hints. Or being overwhelmed by a loud, open plan office. In the corporate world, this often gets coded as culture fit.
Ah, culture fit, the great catch-all.
Right. A manager might say, oh, they just didn't vibe with the team. What they often really mean is, their brain works differently than mine, and that makes me uncomfortable.
So what she's doing here is linking that kind of exclusion directly to racism and sexism.
Yes. She's saying it's all part of the same tree of superiority, this core idea that there is one single right way to be human.
And then she hits us with the specific mechanics of that exclusion. And this part, it really stood out to me because it feels so contemporary. So 2026, she writes, whether you invite me to your parties or your secret underground WhatsApp groups.
Well, secret WhatsApp group.
Right? We have to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because this is where the exclusion happens now. It's not a sign on the door saying no entry. It's a digital silo.
It is the shadow organization. I mean, in every workplace, in every school parent community, there is the official channel, the all-staff email thread, the main Slack channel, and then there is the back channel.
The secret group.
The secret group.
And what happens in that secret group?
Everything. The real bonding happens there. The inside jokes, the sharing of social capital, of opportunities. The unwritten rules of the organization are reinforced in that group.
It's an in-group. by definition.
Right. If you are in the group, you are safe. You are us. If you are not in the group, you are them. You are, functionally invisible.
And Dr. M'gadzah is standing up and saying, I know about the group.
She's piercing the veil. Because usually exclusion like this relies on gaslighting, right?
Of course.
If you ask, hey, why wasn't I included? People say, oh, it was just an oversight. We totally forgot. So sorry.
Yeah.
She is saying, no, you didn't forget. You excluded me, and I know it.
And then she just names it. She writes, or leave me out because of the color of my skin.
No ambiguity. She strips away the plausible deniability.
And then she brings it even closer to home. This is maybe the most painful part. Whether you invite me around your table, whether you invite my children to play dates and parties.
Oh, that is the line that hurts the children.
It's the play date politics. It feels so small, but it's so big.
It sounds trivial to people who haven't experienced it. Oh, it's just a birthday party. But sociologically, the playdate is the first networking event of a human life.
Wow, I'd never thought of it that way.
It is where social capital begins to accumulate. If your child is excluded from the playdate, they aren't just missing out on cake and games.
Right.
They are missing the formation of the peer group. They are being othered at age 4.
And as a parent, to watch that happen to your kid.
It triggers a very primal protective instinct. It's the realization of intergenerational trauma in real time.
You realize the system isn't just trying to erase you.
It's already trying to erase your child. It's teaching the other children right then and there that your child is less than.
And yet, despite that incredible pain, she returns to the anchor.
I am human.
I am human!
It's the shield. It has to be. You can exclude me, you can exclude my child, but you cannot strip us of our biology. We are human. That is the baseline.
Now hold on, because part 3, this is where the stakes go from social exclusion to, well, life and death.
Yes.
We leave the playground and we go to the hospital.
Healthcare disparities. This is a critical pivot in the text, a very deliberate one.
She writes, whether you give me the medication I need while I am writhing in pain, or you choose to paint me as a druggie, someone who might sell the medication or get addicted.
This refers to the well-documented racial bias in pain management. This isn't just an anecdote, it's statistical.
No, it's very real.
Studies have shown for decades, and it's shocking that we're still saying this in 2026, that Black patients are consistently undertreated for pain compared to white patients with the exact same conditions.
Writhing in pain. I mean, just imagine that vulnerability. You are at your absolute weakest. You need help. And the person who is supposed to help you, the person in the white coat, looks at you and sees a criminal.
And she uses the phrase, paint me.
Yes.
You choose to paint me as druggie. That word paint is so important. It implies creativity. It implies fiction.
Is an active choice.
It's an active choice. The doctor isn't seeing the reality, which is a patient in distress. The doctor is projecting a stereotype. They are painting a caricature over the face of the human being in front of them.
And the specific fear she mentions, someone who might sell the medication.
It just criminalizes the patient's suffering. It's unbelievable. Instead of seeing symptoms, the biased medical gaze sees a hustle, a scheme.
It turns the hospital room into an interrogation room.
It does. And her response to this life-threatening indignity, again,
I am human.
It's a plea for survival. Treat my body like a human body. My nerves fire the same way yours do. My pain is not a performance. It is physiology. Please, just see that.
It's genuinely terrifying to think that your survival might depend on whether a stranger can overcome their own delusions in that moment.
That is the reality for millions of people every single day.
From the hospital, she then takes us to the office. Part 4, professional recognition and erasure. This is something I think a lot of our listeners will relate to, regardless of their industry.
Absolutely. The workplace is the primary battlefield for dignity for most adults.
She talks about the basics first.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you recognize my work and achievements, whether you give me equal pay and the recognition I deserve.
The pay gap, the recognition gap. We know the stats. We know that Black women are still earning significantly less on the dollar. That is a form of economic violence.
But then she gets into the interpersonal dynamics.
Yeah.
The stuff that's harder to measure. Or whether you undermine my every effort, dismiss my contributions, trying to erase my very existence.
Erasure in the workplace is so insidious. There's a term for it. Epistemic violence.
Epistemic violence.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
So, epistemic refers to knowledge. Epistemic violence is the act of silencing someone as a knower, as a source of valid knowledge.
I think I know what you mean.
It's when you speak in a meeting and you're ignored, and then 5 minutes later, a colleague, usually from a dominant group, repeats your exact idea, and suddenly everyone says, "What a brilliant insight."
We've all seen it. There's a word for it when men do it to
Yeah.
women, right?
Mhm.
Heat-peating.
That's one version of it, yes.
Yeah.
And it is theft. It is intellectual theft.
It is.
It divorces the idea from the creator. It says, the idea is good, but the person who said it doesn't matter. That is erasure. It's trying to make the person invisible while they're sitting right there in the room.
The institutional gaslighting.
That's exactly what it is. And she pushes back here with incredible force. She says, I am somebody, you cannot erase me. You cannot erase history.
I cannot erase history. I love that line. It's so powerful.
It's a claim to legacy. She's saying, look, you can manipulate the minutes of the meeting. You can leave my name off the final slide deck, but the truth of my contribution is written into the fabric of reality. I did the work. That is an unshakable fact.
She is aligning herself with the truth against their fiction.
She is.
And now, okay, we arrive at what might be the central metaphor of the entire piece. Part 5, the cave.
Come out of your caves of privilege and face me.
Let's break this down. What is a cave of privilege? It's such a striking image.
It's a brilliant inversion. I mean, usually we think of privilege as being above.
Right, the ivory tower, the penthouse.
A high grab.
Superior, exactly. But she frames it as a cave, and you immediately think of Plato's allegory of the cave.
Of course.
If you are in a cave, you are in the dark, you are enclosed, you see only shadows on the wall, not reality. You hear only the echoes of your own voice, your own in-group.
So she's saying that privilege is actually a limitation. Yes. That is her radical argument. Privilege isolates you. It protects you from the reign of poverty or the heat of racism, sure, but it also blinds you.
It keeps you from the truth.
It prevents you from seeing the world as it actually is. By staying in the cave, comfortable and safe, you are actually impoverishing your own understanding of humanity.
So she invites them out. Come out and face me.
It sounds like a challenge to a duel, doesn't it?
It really does.
But look at the weapon she reveals when they come out. She doesn't say, come out and fight me. She says, come out and you will see I am just like you.
That's the twist. That's the real challenge.
The realization of equality is the thing the privileged person in the cave fears most.
Why?
Because if I am just like you, then your privilege is unjustified. It's illegitimate. If we are equal, why do you have the cave and I have the struggle? The person in the cave stays there because they are terrified of having to answer that question.
But she adds a caveat, which I find fascinating. She says, but what I have accomplished is greater, despite your efforts to minimize me.
This is the handicap principle. In biology, it's about signals.
What?
If two people run a race and finish at the same time, but one of them was carrying a 50-pound backpack and jumping over hurdles, who is the stronger runner?
The one with the backpack, obviously.
Right. She is asserting that her professional status, I am a professional, she says, has more weight because it was earned against resistance. It's the old Ginger Rogers rule. She did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards and in high heels.
She says, I have earned my time and my place in your boardrooms and at your table.
Earned. That word is so important. Not given, not a diversity hire. Earned. And notice she calls it your table initially, but by sitting there, she claims it. She makes it hers.
She also touches on the economics of it, which is related. Whether you pay for my services and my work or choose to try and exploit my time.
Ah, that's a nod to the black tax in professional settings. Or the woman tax. It's the expectation that marginalized people should do the diversity work for free. Can you mentor these interns from underrepresented backgrounds? Can you organize the Cultural Heritage Month event?
Can you sit on this DEI committee and fix our racism problem during your lunch break?
Exactly, and she's drawing a boundary. I am a professional. That means pay me. Do not extract value from me without fair compensation.
This leads us into part 6, which is, I think, the most personal section of the whole piece. She declares independence. The truth is, I do not need your blessing or your recognition.
That is the moment of liberation, isn't it? When you realize the gatekeeper doesn't actually hold the key to your soul.
Yeah. And then she celebrates her identity. I am somebody black, proud, and beautiful. And then she breaks down her name. This part is just fascinating. Dr. Shungu Hilda M'gadzah.
Names are so important. They are the first gift, the first piece of identity given to us.
And so often, in biased environments, they are the first thing to be mocked or shortened or erased.
Right. Can I just call you something easier? Your name is too hard. It's another form of erasure.
It is.
But here, she doesn't just say her name. She translates it. She demands that we understand the weight of it.
My name, Shungu, means determination.
Shungu, it's a Shona name from Zimbabwe. Determination. Grit.
Hilda means battle maiden.
That's Germanic or Old Norse, the woman of the battle, the warrior.
And M'gadzah means seated at a high table, descendant of a Zimbabwean chief.
I mean, come on. Talk about a power trio.
Determination, battle, high table.
It's like her destiny was written right there in her birth certificate.
It reframes the entire power dynamic, doesn't it? A moment ago, she was fighting for a seat in a corporate boardroom.
But her name reminds her, and it reminds us that she comes from a line of chiefs. She was born for a high table. She doesn't need the corporate invite to validate her nobility. She brought it with her.
She mentions her parents here, too. You see, my parents were immigrants. There's no shame in that, only pride.
She's countering all the anti-immigrant narratives that often try to frame immigration as a deficit, as a problem.
She frames it as a source of strength.
They named me well, they believed in education and hard work. She is standing on their shoulders, and she's proud of it.
So she has her identity, she has her history. Now she reveals her tool. Part 7.
My weapon of change is the 6 stages framework.
It's interesting she calls it a weapon.
Yeah.
Usually we think of frameworks as, tools or models.
But remember the context. She is in a battle. She is a battle maiden, right? That's her name, Hilda. She is fighting against the cave.
Okay.
In that context, empathy is a weapon.
She says, my mission is building bridges of empathy and removing barriers.
If you are fighting against a system that relies on dehumanization and othering, then empathy is a destructive force against that system. It destroys the barriers. It destroys the illusion of separation. It forces the connection that the cave is designed to prevent.
So empathy is the battering ram that breaks down the door of the cave.
That's a great way to put it. Exactly.
She says she works every day for those who are seen as nobody.
And that's the service component. This isn't just about ego, I am somebody. Isn't just about puffing yourself up. It's about lifting up the nobodies.
You're sharing the torch.
It's carrying the torch of Jesse Jackson, who always went to the forgotten places, the forgotten people.
And then the collective affirmation returns, but it's stronger now. We are somebody. We are not defined by you or by your limitations.
Your limitations. Again, the flip. She does it again.
Yeah.
Usually the prejudiced person tells the marginalized person they are limited. You can't do this. You're not smart enough. You don't belong here. She says, no. You are the one with the limitation. Your limitation is your blindness. Your limitation is your fear.
Which brings us to the climax. Part 8. The confrontation. She turns directly to the oppressor and asks, so, who are you? How have you earned the right to dismiss me?
It's a question that rarely gets asked. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
We always ask the marginalized person for their credentials.
All the time. Show me your ID. Do you belong here?
Right. She turns the spotlight back. Who are you to judge me? What are your credentials for bigotry? Show me your papers.
And the answer.
The truth is, you haven't. You have no moral authority. You haven't earned it.
Then she diagnoses them, like a clinician. Your dismissal is born of fear. Some might say it is ignorance. And here comes her formula. Denial plus ignorance and fear equals delusions.
It's a clinical equation for bigotry.
It is. It's psychology in a nutshell.
She is diagnosing racism and exclusion as a form of delusion, as a break from reality. If you genuinely think you are better than someone else based on their skin color or their neurology, you are hallucinating. You are not seeing the world as it is.
Delusions that you are better in some way. But no.
That's simple, but no. It's so final. It just cuts through all the noise. It's the period at the end of the sentence.
And she ends by stripping away their hiding places. You cannot hide behind false truths and narratives. You will never erase me. Because you know deep down that I am somebody.
That is the final haunting truth. It's like the telltale heart moment in the poem.
It is.
She is asserting that even the oppressor, in their quietest, most honest moments, knows they are wrong. Deep down beneath the cave, beneath the secret WhatsApp group, beneath all the bluster, the human conscience knows the truth. They know she is somebody.
And that knowledge is what terrifies them. That's why they build the cave.
Exactly. It's inescapable. You can lie to the world, you can lie to your colleagues, but you can't lie to your own soul forever.
And she signs off. Inspired by Reverend Jesse Jackson's, I am somebody. Rest in peace and power.
It brings us right back to the beginning, full circle.
So, having walked through this entire text, what are we left with? I mean, we've analyzed the psychology, the metaphors, the anger, the hope. But what's the big takeaway for our listeners in 2026?
I think there are two main things, for me at least. First, it's the endurance of the legacy. 50 years later, I am somebody. is still working. It's still a valid and necessary tool for survival. That speaks to the timeless power of what Jesse Jackson gave us.
It shows the work isn't done, but the tools are still sharp.
They're still sharp.
Exactly.
And second, Dr. M'gadzah shows us that the fight isn't just external, it's internal. It's about how you define yourself when the world is trying to define you. It's about maintaining your own cave-free vision of the world.
And her invitation to come out of the cave.
Yeah.
That's really going to stick with me.
It's an invitation to freedom for everyone. That's the part people miss. The oppressor is trapped in the cave too. She's actually offering them a way out.
Come out, and you will see I am just like you.
It's a challenge, yes, but it's a beautiful one. It's an invitation to shared humanity.
In her original post, Dr. M'gadzah ends with a question for her readers. She asks, where in your life have you had to insist, quietly or loudly, I am somebody?
That is the homework for our listeners today, isn't it?
It really is. Think about that. In your workplace, in your family, in the healthcare system, in the mirror. Where have you had to draw that line and make that declaration for yourself?
And maybe even more importantly, if you haven't had to draw that line very often, ask yourself why. Ask yourself, are you the one in the cave? Are you the one making it necessary for others to insist?
That's the hard question.
It is.
But it's the necessary one.
It is.
Thank you, Dr. M'gadzah, for these words. And thank you, Reverend Jackson, for the legacy.
Rest in power.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Take care of yourselves and remember,
You are somebody.
we'll see you next time.